co-hosted by Korea Health Industry Development Institute and North Chungcheong Province, and sponsored by Ministry of Health and Welfare. Welcome to Bio Korea 2020 Invest Fair. I am Park Seo-jin, today's MC. This event is to introduce pharmaceutical bio and healthcare companies' strategies and visions to potential investors. This time is for Osstem Implant. Osstem Implant is a company that is number one company in the Asian market, including South Korea. And recently, not only it is working on dental tooth material, but also dental IT technologies. Let's have a President Tae-wan of Osstem Implant to listen to his presentation. Good to see you, President From now on, please dive into the details of your company.
Sure. I'll introduce the business plans and our goals. First of all, this slide shows our plan in July 2020. So this shows the headquarters and central research center that we'll move to. So there is Magok Research Complex located between Songsan Bridge and Gimpo International Airport. And the right building is the research center and the left one is our headquarters. Osstem Implant, back in 1997, was established by dentist President Choi Kyu-ok. He wanted to provide a better treatment for patients and contribute to their better health welfare. And there are two philosophies of our company. The first is we succeed by making our customers succeed. And the second one is a good thing is an enemy of a better thing. So we staff members always want to agonize how to bring success for our customers. And the second one, that a good thing is the enemy of a better thing, is that we shouldn't sit complacent about today's success and we have to further strive for a better achievement in the future. First of all is the domestic facility in Korea. The headquarters and the central research centers, as I mentioned, we will move to Magok. And currently, we are located in Kasan Digital Complex, but we will move to Magok in July. And there we also have the dental IT business headquarters. And in Sihwa, Gyeonggi Province, we have three facilities. One is chair facility, and next is visual equipment facility, and dental material facility. And our main focus is implant technology, and we have this implant facility in Haeundae, Busan. And we also have facilities in overseas. We have an implant factory in Philadelphia, United States. We have 10 billion Korean won production scale facility. And also in Yancheng, China, we have this digital implant factory being operated. And as for the global network, we have 28 corporations in 26 nations, and if we dealers, we export our products to 70 nations. Now, this is the growth trend of Osstem Implant, and over the past 5 years, according to CAGR data, we are showing 21% of annual growth, and last year we saw 565 billion Korean won of sales, and in the future, we are likely to see 20% of growth. So by 2024, we are likely to reach 1.4 trillion Korean won of sales. So that is our goal. This slide shows a mid and long-term goal, and as of 2019, we showed 565 trillion won. So in terms of sales, we are ranked number 5 in this industry. But when it comes to the number of sales, then from over the 3 past years, we're ranking number 1. So in terms of sales ranking, by 2024, we are likely to reach 1.4 trillion won. So we are likely to become number 1 in the dental implant industry. And in 2034, we are likely to reach 10 trillion to rank number 1. And as of 2019, we're seeing 1.7-fold of growth every 3 years, and this also applied for the previous 3 years. So Osstem Implant's vision is the next to talk about. We do have a lot of strategies, but today I would like to mention these four. First, it's three brands. We have this company Hyoscine. It has a facility in Philadelphia, USA, and we produce made in USA products. So it's a premium brand, and we are targeting this premium market. And we have Osstem in Korea, which is a mass brand. We target the general market. And Osstem's goods take up most of our sales, and we also have Topline, which is a valuable brand. Osstem taking most of the sales, and we have this high-end premium goods by Hyoscine, and we target valuable brands in Topline. So we have these three approaches. I'll move on to next generation implant. So this shows the history of success rate of implanting. So the implant technology has about 60 years of history, and before the 2000s, the success rate was 88.3%, which was over 80%. And if you take a look at the bottom, there are material technology, surface processing technology, designing technology, and production technology. And after the 2000s, like within the 2000s, there was 92% of success rate. In the recent 10 years, we showed 96% of success rate. But in the future, we will have to aim for 99% of success rate. And in terms of the implant technology's failure, there were this dropout. So when we implement implants in the human body, then because of dropping out, they showed 3.4% of failure rate, and also destruction. When people had this implant and chew food, they could destroy it, which is about 0.3%. So overall, about 3 to 4% is the failure rate. And the number of implant patients, according to the Health Insurance Review and Assessment Service data, about 1.2 million patients went through this implant surgery, and about 40,000 people failed in Korea. And in the global market, which is tenfold, about 400,000 people fails every year, which means a major challenge that we have to face this. And we will come up with a next generation implant which can massively reduce the failure rate. And if we successfully come up with this new implant technology, then we are likely to dominate the global implant market. So that is the key business plan of Osstem Implant. So if I would like to briefly talk about the reason for failure, first one could be the defects found in these materials, the product itself. Next is the dentist's errors made during the procedure operation. And the last one is patient-oriented factors. Well, when the goods products were perfect and the surgery was good, however, patients could mismanage or like chew food and destroy it. So by covering these three, we will come up with a very innovative way to reduce the failure rate, and we are running our business. And in terms of this project, we announced this data recently. We got selected by Ministry of Trade and Industry for this project. So from 2020 to 2023, we will develop this project, and this will be led by Osstem Implant, and we will also have partnership with Seoul National University and Yonsei University's School of Dentistry to invest 6 billion Korean won. Next is digital needs. The dental industry is rapidly shifting from the analog market to the digital market, so we have to meet those needs. And so far, if I would like to briefly talk about this digital dentistry, and what matters is collecting data, and through 3D scanner we get CT images, and we have to conduct analysis through this thread scanner. And based on this CT and scanner, we acquire data, and based on the data, we have to analyze and design our plans, and then we use printers and millings to produce this product, and then we implement this to the medical procedure for our patients. So this is the idea of digital dentistry. The Osstem Implant strategy, in terms of this, the technology itself is really, really difficult. So many companies located in Korea, they import those materials as merchants into Korea and they resell it or sell it. And of course, our company is also doing that, but we aim to develop our goods on by own, and we have to do this step by step. So in 2017, we introduced this digital implant, and last year in 2019, we worked on digital prosthesis and digital calibration and digital denture. And next year, we will work on double jaw surgery digitalization. In terms of this digital industry field, patient management matters, so managing patients. And nowadays, because of the coronavirus outbreak, nowadays remote telemedicine is gaining a lot of attention. So managing patients and treating and operating and dealing with insurance have to be covered. And we are introducing our software so far, and we take about 80% of the market share in Korea. And the second one is data acquisition. It's based on CT and scanner, and what matters the most is the oral scanner. And uh, the number one major company in the globe is located in the Netherlands, and they have this three shape equipment. So we have strategic partnership to sell this, and we are also developing this on our own, and then diagnosis and designing, planning, and so on. The digital market, as shown on the slide, currently in 2023, we are likely to see a 20 trillion market style, and we are likely to see a 8.4% of annual growth. And of course, this includes the conventional dentistry and implants and equipment. So we are working as a total provider. For example, if a dentist opens a dental clinic, then he or she has to work on interior and has to equate equipments and materials. And in order to conduct surgery, they have to train their staff members and treat patients and then work on after treatment service. And we are providing this all in one, and we will expand this service. So we have this service step by step, and we have each research centers, and there are over 400 researchers in our company. And on the right, there are affiliates. We can work on calibration and pharmaceuticals and oral health, as well as cardiovascular stent. Osstem Implant, as a total provider, deals with all the goods and products or equipment that dentists need, from implant to materials, equipment, dental IT to medicine. We can provide all of these all in one, and sometimes, if necessary, we can have strategic partnership with major companies to provide equipment. Next, let's move on to the market. This slide shows the implant market. The implant market is showing about 6.6% of annual growth according to CAGR. The global implant market as of 2019 it showed 5.75 trillion won, and from 2017 to 2024 that is likely to show 6.6% of annual rate. And as for Osstem implant, only for implant, we showed 383.7 billion won in 2019, and we are likely to show 22% of annual growth rate. And as for the market share, globally, Osstem showed 7% and globally and 46% in Korea. And for digital equipment, the market share here, globally, we are only showing 0.2%, but in Korea, 9%, which means in terms of digital equipment, this field has very high potentials of expanding. Next is medical equipment. As for medical equipment, this is showing 2.15 trillion won, excluding the CT. And next, dental materials, globally, showing 2.63 trillion won, and for Osstem, 58.6 billion won. So globally, the growth rate is about 5%, but Osstem will show about 15% of growth rate. Next, patients without teeth, they choose implant. If they have teeth, they choose calibration. So they have these two choices. And as for this calibration, we acquired Qubit, which is a calibration company. So as an affiliate of Osstem, we run this company. And globally, the global calibration market as of 2019 was 2.8509 trillion Korean won, and the annual growth rate is about 8.3%. And for Osstem, we're likely to show 30% of growth rate. Next is dental pharmaceuticals. So non-over-the-counter dental pharmaceuticals, to be specific. So globally, about 1 trillion won globally, and in the domestic market, Osstem will show about 49% growth rate. Now is interior. Globally, there are about 1.3 million dental clinics in the world according to our data, and the interior market is showing about 3.5 trillion won of market, and the growth rate is about 4%. And in Korea, Osstem showed about 10.5 billion won. And as shown on the table here, as of 2019, Implant is showing 5.75 trillion won and likely to see 6.5% of growth rate. And Osstem showed 383.7 billion Korean won and with 22.4% of growth rate. And as for digital equipment, 8.9 trillion won globally, 5.1% of growth rate. And for Osstem, 17 billion won, 52.8% growth rate. As for medical device, 2.15 trillion won globally with 4%. And for Osstem, 63.7 billion won, and every year about 19.4%. And for dental materials, 2.63 trillion won, 5.2%, and for Osstem, 58.6 billion. For a lot of investors, they're very interested in the coronavirus outbreak, and before I sum up, I would like to mention this one. The impact from the coronavirus. So if you take a look at the global implant market, as of 2019, the market was about 5.75 trillion won, and by 2020, we had 5.9 trillion won as expected. However, because of the coronavirus, we had to reassess our expectation. As of now, we are likely to see a minus 22%, which will show a V line. Well, there will be a diminishing market. But what is fortunate is that next year we are likely to see a normalization of our original plan. And this shows the early period of 2020's business plan. So we saw 565 billion won of sales and 700 billion as in 2020. And in Korea, 2019 we showed 255.5 and 309.5 billion won. And in 2020 we saw 700 billion globally and 305.2 domestically and 394.8 billion won overseas. And we planned a 12.5% of growth rate. However, because of the coronavirus outbreak, we had to get rid of this plan, and now what would come next? So how are you going to assess data again? So if we would like to mention, we have announced our Q1 report. Globally, we saw a 130.6 billion won. We showed 1.3% of growth, and domestically, we showed 15.4% growth rate. However, overseas, almost minus 10%, which is minus 9.2% of negative growth. But we managed to deal with our costs. So, although small, but we saw a plus profit in terms of operation sales. So, what will happen in Q2? We have done our analysis and expectation assessment. However, it's related to IR, so I can't mention thoroughly, but to put it simple, the second quarter is really important and it'll be a challenging moment, but globally it'll show a minus growth because we're expected to see a minus growth globally overseas, but in Korea we will see a plus growth, but while we're going to have a minus growth globally, but we're currently working on our cost controlling. So we're likely to see a plus profit in terms of operation. And annually, in the later half of this year, we will work on to see plus sales both domestically and globally. And we are likely to see a plus in operation. Of course, it'll be lower than our original plan. So that is our expectations. And as for China, the Chinese market, in China, the coronavirus is almost done in China. And currently, our branch in China is seeing almost 80% of recovery. And as for Osstem's operation, as of May, we are seeing almost 100% of recovery. So in China and Korea, we are acting this as a driving engine to recover our profits. So it is not too much of a reason to worry about. So we're turning this crisis into a new opportunity. So, as I mentioned, the vision as of 2019, we're planning to have 1.7-fold of growth every 3 years according to our roadmap. The last slide is our motto, our staff members' motto. A smart person is who can be rich only by himself or herself, and a great person is someone who makes others rich. So based on this motto, our staff members strive to put our efforts to develop every day. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. We have listened to various strategies and visions of Osstem Implant. For those investors looking for a new opportunities to invest, I wish this time was very meaningful for you, and thank you, President Tae-kwan, for your presentation. A channel to meet investors and companies. This time, I wish those pharmaceutical bio healthcare companies could develop and make another step forward. Now, it is time